Hello and welcome everybody to this XTB live news. My name is Walid Koudmani, market analyst for XTB. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the main events happening in the markets this morning, what we can expect on the economic calendar and keep an eye on, what are the major events to keep an eye on during the week as well. And we're going to be taking a look at some charts to see some major moves. So let's start with a recap of what happened over the weekend. And in the first part of today's session, we had last week the UK elections that ended with the Tories controlling a majority. And also very important news from Scotland. The Scottish National Party fell short of winning an outright majority in recent elections. However, support from the pro-independence Green Party may help push for another independence referendum. So this is key news for the economy in the region. Obviously, the Scottish referendum has been something that's always talked about, but it takes a few years between one and the other. And the Scottish National Party has already said that they would be pushing for another referendum in the future. So that's something to keep an eye on, very important news. We also had the US government declaring a state of emergency due to a large fuel pipeline shutdown in the East Coast. It is said that the pipeline operator has been targeted with a cyber attack and was forced to shut down the pipeline. It's one of the biggest ones as well, so it's a key supply issue potentially for the US oil. We saw a reaction in oil prices, which I'm going to go and show you on the charts in a minute. Besides that, earnings season continues today and this week. We're nearing the end of it. A lot of the major companies, the mega cap companies, have all declared their earnings, but we still have some major ones today as well. We have BioNTech, Duke Energy, Marriott International, Novavax, and Virgin Galactic, along with Tyson Foods. We also have not much in the macro releases, but as I said, the fundamental events, including the oil pipeline and the Scottish elections, are all worth keeping an eye on. Let's move on to the charts and take a look at the markets. Let's start with the DAX as always. Mixed start for European indices today. So quite positive at the start, but then we saw this pullback, as you can see, upward gap and then pull back towards the previous trading range. At the moment, the DAX is around 15,380 points after reaching a high of 15,472. So you can see still hovering around its all-time high. Not that big of a pullback, but testing a previous support at around this area. And you can see this area acted as a resistance in the past. So worth keeping an eye on. Also testing the two EMAs, the 8 and 21, so the yellow and the blue line. The UK 100, the FTSE, slightly more negative performance, you can see. Also positive start, but then we saw a pullback about 0.75%. If we want to draw a line on the chart, we can see similar price reaction area, but not as strong of a support as the previous one as well. But at the moment, you can see it's being tested. US indices, we can take a look. Slightly more negative performance at the beginning. You can see that probably some of the factors affecting it obviously would be the pipeline and the uncertainty there, because there it actually has a practical effect on the economy. Could be potential shortages of actual oil and gasoline, so they could affect the prices there. We're seeing some uncertainty in the markets as well, but still remaining near its all-time high and still remaining at the moment testing actually both the averages as well. The US Tech Index, that has actually been suffering more than the S&P. You saw this huge pullback with a potential double bottom here. And at the moment, the index rebounded and is now trading around 13,600 points. And if we want to draw a line, you can see that this area acted as a resistance in the past, here and here, and a price reaction area as well. At the moment, testing as a support, but below all three moving averages. And you can see that this area also was key in the past. So earnings are worth keeping an eye on, and also the situation in the US from the macroeconomic point of view, of course. If we take a look at commodities, let's take a look at gold. Gold extending the upward move. So you can see two different moves that kind of boosted the price of gold. So we had the first one after this drop, which was around 1.3%. From 1794 breaking through the 1800 level and then reaching a new range of 1813, 1815, ranging around this area, slight push up, and then we saw this other push up of around 1.2%, 1.3%, slight pullback and now consolidation around 1840. And if we want to take a look actually on a larger time frame, we'll take a look on the daily. You can see gold last 4 days positive, 5 out of 6 actually, breaking through the Ichimoku cloud on the daily time frame, testing it for several days, and then now heading for a previous range. You can see this range that preceded this very big downward move. Silver is also having a similar performance, and I'll show you also on the currencies in a second. So we're going to take a look on the market analysis section of the platform. On the heat map, you can see all the currencies. Today, the pound, the best performing currency. Very interesting considering the elections and the political situation, but the pound is still performing very well today. Also, the US dollar trading quite mixed, and I'll show you on the index how that is relating to other currencies. The euro also mixed performance, and this is after the central bankers decided to kind of stay on their path of waiting. The franc quite positive, and with the mixed indices, also the yen is actually performing very negatively, trading lower against all these currencies. If we're going to take a look at the pairs, pound USD breaking through the 141 level, so reaching the highest level in quite some time. You can see that since February, so since the end of February, now the pound is at the highest level since the end of February, before this downward move. And you can see this daily candle today, over 1% after another almost 1% candle here and another one here. So you saw a slight range here and then no range basically here except for one day, and then today this push up above 141. So several key levels have been broken, 138 to 139 to 140, and then 141 at the moment. And now we are testing the previous highs, which could be considered the resistance, I would say. And because if we want to go higher than that, we have to go back all the way to 2018 basically. So for the moment, the pound USD is testing a very important level. And as I'll show you here with the euro dollar chart overlaid with the US dollar index chart, you can see that, actually, let me remove a couple of lines. So let's just make it a little bit clearer. So this way we can see that there is some kind of a correlation between the Euro USD and the US dollar. I like to have the US dollar index chart overlaid because it gives me an idea of if the move is primarily motivated by the strength of the dollar or weakness of the dollar, or by the strength of the other currency. So you can see that in these cases, the dollar went down heavily, and then we saw these upward moves on the euro dollar as well. And at the moment, the dollar is actually performing more negatively than the euro dollar pair is performing positively. So the pound is actually, you can see, performing even better. And we can see this here on the euro pound chart, obviously. Euro heading down, the pound is actually gaining. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Walid Koudmani, market analyst for XTB. Good luck with your trading.